Okay, things to keep around. Old USB keyboards are great because you're always going to need to be able to connect to your legacy units. VGA cables, preferably a monitor that also has a VGA input. Of course, mouse is always good. Again, hard connected. Um, get some like small guy is kind of handy, especially like me running out of disk space. I kind of like to have also even a smaller keyboard to do all this with. Okay, before we do anything, we're going to upgrade or at least check to see the version of the BIOS. We're going to need a hard connected keyboard and mouse along with the network connection. We're going to do VGA for our video output. Thankfully, I've got a monitor that I can switch between HDMI and VGA. So let's get that set up. Okay, had a little bit of an interesting, I don't know, redirection, but as it turns out, the 65-watt power supply that I got that works with the 35-watt and supposedly works with this didn't. So thankfully in my storehouse of stuff, I had an HP 90-watt, and then that went in because what was happening, I was getting the 3.1 in terms of the 3 long and 4 short as far as the beeps. And looking it up, everyone was saying, well, it's got to be something to do with the power supply. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that makes sense. So anyway, we're here now, and now we're going to go through and first check to see if we can update the BIOS. Okay. Okay, so I added another 8 gig, took off the fan, added another 8 gig chip. So this is the first time dealing with the 65-watt G2. My other one's a 35. It doesn't have this fan here, so that's a little different. Okay, I want to put in an NVMe drive, M.2, so I believe I'm going to have to take off these 3 screws in order to get this drive caddy out, and probably disconnect the this fan so that I can get down. You can almost see, well, the connector. It may actually be 2 because oh no, actually this only supports 1. I'm thinking of the G4, it supports 2. So okay, I cheated and I left it connected. I just kind of moved it to the side, but we've got our NVMe in there. Looks like in good shape on the Wi-Fi card. We'll just keep that. Didn't even think about changing the excuse me, the CMOS battery. I guess if we have issues, we could always change it, but so far so good. Okay, forgot to show kind of what it looks like when everything is back in. I was lucky enough that this came with an SSD drive. And even nicer is, of course, you get the little, I don't know what you call them, grommet special screws that allow it to sit in this drive caddy so well. Very important if you're buying one of these guys, always ask, hey, does the drive caddy and the SATA connector come with it? Because a lot of times they don't, and then you have to end up buying it. Sometimes you get the caddy, but you won't get these little screws, so then you have to kind of improvise. This is also showing what it looks like with the fan removed. And one nice thing is I asked if the unit came with 2 4 gig or 1 8 gig stick, and it just came with a single 8 gig, which is great because then I only have to buy another 8 gig as opposed to buying 2 8 gig in order to get 16. I always like to put 16 in there if I can. I believe these units can take as much as 32, so just want to show that.